Okay, let's put this all together and show stem to stern how to fill out that QEP assessment report. So for this video, I'm going to pretend that I have created my high impact experience in one of my courses. I've assigned the reflection prompt and I have scored those reflections. Now it's time for me to fill out the QEP assessment report. So to do that, I need to go to EagleWeb. I'm going to log in. I'm going to go to OIRE, and then I'm going to go to QEP. Now I need the QEP assessment report so that I can fill it out. So I'm going to go ahead and download that, and I'm going to open it. All right, so far so good. I'm going to enable editing, and the first thing I want to do, let me make this not quite so big. The first thing I want to do is just save it with my own file name. So I'm going to choose Save As. I'm going to put this on my desktop. And I'm going to call it, let's pretend I'm doing this for MUS 105 QEP Assessment Report. And then I might say Spring 2020. Just so it gives a lot of information there. Go ahead and save that. Now, I'm going to come in here, course code or activity. Well, this is associated with a course, so MUS. This was 105, and I'll say it was section 010. And which semester was it? Come in here. I'm going to say this was spring 2020. And the instructor was Dr. N. Mason Conklin. All right, this was in service of professional development. You should be able to tick the box like that. If you can't, it's also okay for you to just highlight the objective that you were targeting. This was an undergraduate research, so I'll tick the box or I will highlight so that I know which one it was. HIP level. Now I need to figure out what this was, whether it's at first year, developing, or senior level. To do that, I need the undergraduate research taxonomy. So I will go back to EagleWeb. Here's the undergrad research taxonomy. I'm going to look through and I'm going to score this. This was, let's see, what did I have them do? I'm just going to make up the responses. I'll say this was a suspected known out. Oh, enable editing. Well, okay. So a 2 there. 2 there. This was a half semester kind of project. There were 2 structured feedback opportunities. And the results likely warrant presentation to the university community of scholars. So those were all 2s. Let's see what that scores. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So this was a developing HIP. So I go back to my QEP assessment report, and I'm going to choose that this was a developing HIP. And it applies to my entire roster. So I'll go ahead and highlight that too. Okay. Now it's time for me to put in the assessment data here in the assessment area of this form. So let me show you what I've compiled. Let's say I graded my assessments, and these are the results. Student 1 scored a 22323 on the reflection prompts. Student 2 scored a 00121. Student 3 a 44344. And I've come down here and I've kind of tallied these results. Of those students that exceeded expectations in SLO1, there was 1, 2, 3. So 3 exceeded. Who scored a 3? 1, 2, 3. 4 of them met the expectation, scored a 3. 2 of them scored a 2, and 1 of them did not meet expectations. I'm doing 1 and 0 as did not meet. Okay, so I've done that for all 5 SLOs, so I have my reports there. So in my assessment method, assessment level, and benchmark, I'm going to put method assigned reflection paper. 50% of students will meet or exceed expectations. Okay, now I'm going to put in the actual data from my assessment. So here we have, we'll say 30% of students exceeded expectations and 40% of students met expectations. %, partially met expectations and 10% did not meet expectations. Okay, then after that, I need to do some thinking. Why were the results, did the results occur this way? Is there something I could do to improve based on these results? I might put here with 70% of students meeting or exceeding expectations, I'm mostly satisfied with the results. For the few students that did not meet expectations, I might say something that I learned from reading the reflections, like more guidance is needed to explain how students can pursue opportunities outside of what is mentioned in class, and to highlight student activities that qualify as meeting or exceeding expectations on this SLO. Something along those lines. And then I would repeat that process for 2, 3, 4, and 5 using the data that I have tabulated here. So I'm not going to go ahead and fill all that in for you, but that's what you would do. You would go in through and you'd look, you'd probably use the same method and target. I might even say new target is 60% of students meeting or exceeding expectations. You know, set a new target based on how well it went. And you do the same thing for 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, budget impact of QEP 1. Here's where I would say if I needed funds to make this HIP happen, where those funds came from, and what the funding might need to come from in the future if those funds are no longer available. So here I might say this project required no additional funding to complete. No additional funding is necessary for future implementations. All right. And then here I would describe the HIP and brag about it. Let's say students were required to create a video that highlighted a composer's biography and specific works from contemporary to major life events. These students were incredibly creative in their projects with some goings, I'm making this up, far as to create period realistic costumes the videos submitted are several of the videos are worthy of inclusion as learning resources for future runs of this course. So just brag a little bit, okay? And then, you know what? You're done. We do need to say whether we met, partially met, or did not meet the objectives. So to do that, I would go through and look at and see if I hit all my benchmarks. If I hit all my benchmarks, I might say met. If I did not, I would say partially met. If some of them met their objectives and some of them did not, or if they all did not meet, go ahead and highlight that one. Okay, that's the process. That's it. Download the form, fill out the header. You might need the taxonomy so that you get the right HIP level. Tally your results, present them here in the student learning objective assessments. Give me the budget implications, describe the HIP and the highlights, and then save it. I'll save this. And then you'd send it in an email to me, nmc@reinhardt.edu. And then from there, I will submit a list of courses to the OIRE to Flag and Zanzibar. And I will maintain these records so that we can look at the qualitative data of the SLO assessment for reporting on goal number 2. Okay, that's the process. I hope you get it. I hope you understand. If you don't, please feel free. Send me an email, nmc@reinhardt.edu. Schedule an appointment. Come by, we'll talk it over in my office, and I can give you some guidance on how to fill out the report. And that's that. All right, thanks for watching.